Hello, good afternoon, everyone. UC here from iTradePrices. Just wanted to make some video. We have not done so in a while. Just wanted to make a video on some of the names that we have seen recently move. So thought it would be a good time to just review some of the charts, right? Let's start with QQQ, right? Let's go get a clean version. So this is a weekly view, right? So what happened a few weeks ago, right? We broke this support right here of 434, 433.5, and we made it all the way back nicely to retest this breakout point, right? We had a breakout bar and then we retested it. We sort of tried to dip back under it, couldn't do it, and market kind of nicely rallied. Retested the level it broke down from, right, which is 433.5, and since then we saw a little bit of move down, right? So now we know we have these two areas, 433.5 and 413.5, where the market is sort of swinging in between these two levels. So let's get into a daily view and see what's going on, if we can try to decipher something. So yeah, so on a daily view, right, it gives you a little bit of cleaner view. So what we are seeing is we saw a bounce from here and a retest, and now we have these 2 days of balance of the low around 420, 421 level, right? So here is a hammer bar. So if we don't see a nice follow through to the upside tomorrow, right, a nice weekly bar. So tomorrow is Friday, so if we don't close in the week, oh, that's a monthly view, in a weekly chart, right, if we don't really close back all the way up, it still remains under pressure, and we can see in the coming days a breakdown from this sort of mini uptrend line, right? It's still not out of the woods yet for bulls to call it a win, but still they defended this level, right? So if you see, here was the uptrend line, right? This one right here with sort of 3 points, and if we break down from this particular uptrend line, then definitely this 413, 4.4 becomes your target to the downside. If we don't, and if we end up breaking out of this 433.5 level, which has acted as support before, and now it has acted as resistance twice. So if we break out of that, maybe a first touch rejection, make another higher low, right? And then eventually a breakout. Or if it does not do that, gets rejected, does not really get a follow through move to the upside, then definitely we can still there, right? So these are some of the scenarios that you can look for as the market plays out. And then based on the lower time frame, if I bring in the levels, you can sort of time your entries, look for levels to play rejection and bounces on, if you're an intraday trader, right? So I mean, if you're not, then definitely there's from the swing long perspective, I don't think this is a good area from the swing long perspective, right? So this area where we had this prior support and breakout from, this would have been nice. So you could have accumulated if the price was here, but it didn't really come in that zone. But I'm just trying to focus on the thought process, right? That's so that you have cushion, right? You have some leverage on your side if the price even goes against you. Okay. All right, let's take a look at SPY. Similar look and feel. Let's take a look at weekly view. Let's go to this view right there. So in a weekly view, still kind of tightening price action, right? Let's go to daily. Similar look and feel as QQQ, hammer bar, right? So sort of fight happening between bulls and bears right here. So if we drill down to even lower time frame, something like 30 minutes, yeah, so this is actually, let's go to like an hourly view. So this was the channel that it broke down from, right? But it was having a hard time seeing the follow through move down below 500 level, right? Kept bouncing. Saw a bounce from there as well today, and then it just sort of built it up all the way to its swing high right here from the day before, right? But this is the major resistance up top if it wants to keep on building towards that level, and then we have this downtrend line in play, right? So you can look for these scenarios. If it breaks out, then definitely this level, which is the structure high from right here in the weekly time frame, can be the target. If it gets rejected from here, right, then you can have this mini trend line as your reference, and it breaks down that one, then definitely these levels here become your target on the downside, right? So that's how you kind of plan and see if that plan is coming up together or not, and then you can adjust accordingly. So if writing notes help, sure. I'm actually accumulating a position in AMD personally myself. I like the chart, right? I like this value area, right? This was the prior high. That's where we broke out from, and now we're right here, right? So this is a good zone to accumulate, right? I don't expect a V recovery, right? Earnings came out, but we were already so sold out that did not really see any significant move to the downside. Yeah, it's still weak, right? But it just looks like that it's losing momentum on the downside, right? As we're getting closer to this long-term support as well, around 128 all the way to 133, right? So I'm just in the accumulation phase. I'm just adding every $5-7. I'm just adding shares and looking for a move back towards 171 and even higher, 187, right? And then of course you can always trim and trail and raise your stop loss in anticipation of a higher move, right? But I'm in it for medium term to long term, so these are not intraday trades for me, but I like the price action from perspective of even a bounce as well, right? So if I clear up this chart a little, you'll see from a weekly perspective, right, we have had 3 weeks straight where it has tried to break down from this 145 level, right? And even with the earnings, call it bad earnings, whatever, the price is failing to move down, right? Yes, it can still move down, but looking at from close perspective, right, it has not really closed below this. So I'm expecting some move down on the upside in the coming weeks, at least till the high end of this recent structure, right, which was this support. So I'm expecting some bounce here towards 165 in the coming weeks, and that will be a place where I will trade majority of my shares, and then of course I'll keep some in anticipation of a break higher towards this zone right here, 184, 185, right? From stop loss perspective, I'm not really thinking about that, right? Because I am still in the add mode. For me, stop loss or time to get worried for a chart like this would be when this thing loses this long-term uptrend line, right? Which is somewhere here. So I can still add here. I can still add here 133, even towards the uptrend line, if it really keeps on getting weak, right? But that would be my stop loss, and I will still be within my risk. Okay, let's take a look at NVIDIA. Actually, a little bit stronger looking chart than AMD, personally speaking. If I look at it, right, it has recovered, because if it was from AMD perspective, AMD is still here, right? NVIDIA has already gone up. So from that perspective, definitely NVIDIA is a better relative basis, on a relative basis, a good candidate. All right, so weekly, we have a high around here, recent structure high. We have a structure low right here. Okay, so we're in the middle. Now let's dig into daily. Looks like if I bring the levels, it's a better view, right? Since I have all my levels and my trend lines on that one. So yeah, this uptrend line, right? Bearish bar, did not see any follow through, got bought nicely up, right? We got the rejection right here, move back down, got bought because this was the breakout point. It kind of retested that, did not really close in a bearish note, was still higher low, and now we are trying to get back. So now we have 2 days worth of resistance right here above 863. We can target 888, and then even a structure high towards 906. If it does not want to do that, then on an hourly view, let's see where our thesis or our plan can start to break, right? So if I look at it right now, we are at this major pivot point, 863, right? This was support, now acting as resistance, or at least a pause this time, right? If it goes up, like I said, 888 is your target. If it loses, I would still like to kind of maybe look for a bounce from this intraday support of 847, right? It can still do that and remain well within its uptrend line, right, from there. So, but if it loses this 847, then of course I would consider more of a bearish play, right, towards 832 or even this uptrend line, right? So that can be one of your things to look for. Let's maybe take a look at Tesla, everybody's favorite, or used to be favorite. Weekly view, let's take a look at the cleaner chart. So, all right, we came out of this downward channel in a weekly time frame. Earnings was the catalyst. We saw a nice follow through after the earnings move, right? And we stopped right where we saw this bearish breakdown from, right? Earlier in the year, we retested that. Couldn't really retest it, but still in play, right? Yes, we saw a little bit of move down, but it's still in play. This was the resistance, short-term resistance. If it can manage to remain above that, close above that, 179, 178. Let's take a look at daily time frame. Yeah, so it looks like it's, it kind of managed to hold this area. So that's what, as a trader, you kind of look for. These are the risks you take, right? These are good places. This was resistance, right? 3 times price got rejected from there. And now it's acting as support, right? At least for the past 2 days, 179.2. If it does indeed go down, break down, we have a gap fill, right? And a back test of this trend line. That can be a setup to look for. But if it bounces back up from here, then definitely it's nice. So from a risk perspective, nice long here, maybe an add here, look for a move like that, right? Towards this 205 level. But if you're bearish, right, then yeah, then you just have to look for the price to start breaking down from this 179.2. I think in a 4-hourly view, see, it's kind of holding up right now. It's still for me a setup to look for a bounce. So from intraday perspective, right, I would play a bounce here. I would still like to buy here, look for a bounce if it breaks down. Yes, you can short towards this level. It all depends on where the price is, right, when it opens up. And then if it gives up, then definitely that means it was a failed breakout of this channel, and then we can target the lower prices. Okay. BA ended up really nice. This was our buy zone right here, right? Weekly support long term. And you can see this is where it broke down from, retested that level. So naturally, this was our target zone on the way up. I'm out of all my position. I'll see how it kind of acts here, right? It can still go back down or gets rejected or break out, right? So if it breaks out, I would look for a pullback to get long towards the next resistance level on the upside. ALB is another good chart. I was kind of looking at it's kind of, resisting the move to the downside on every bearish breakout play. It gets just bought from this zone right here, right? This was a breakout, move back down, consolidation, move back up. Yes, lower highs, and it can still do that. But if it breaks out above that, this is a good candidate for shorts to cover and get some nice rally going on. So one can use as 117 or 108 as the stop loss for the long position. If you want to play bearish, that's not bad either, right? From a trade perspective, right? So if you play a bearish move right here, it's not bad because your risk would be small. That if it gets above this down trend line, that means yes, you come out of your short because the chart would want to go higher after that, right? But if it breaks down, then of course 108 and even breakdown of this level can definitely be an event where everybody throws their towel. They're like, screw this, and it rallies. Goes down further. So all right, this was it for a quick review. I'll try to do more of these often. It's just been I've been busy with kids and everything else, so really have not gotten a chance to do more of these videos, but I'll try to. All right, hope you guys have a good rest of your evening. If you have any questions, comments, let me know. Thank you. Bye-bye.